Hey guys, welcome back to Boardwatch. I'm Brian.
Justin.
Lisa is a little busy right now. She will catch up probably by herself for the next couple of episodes. We'll just tell her how many we watch. Gonna hopefully get 2 episodes in today, so we'll be like 3/8 done with season 2. Like almost
you love throwing in math.
Almost to the halfway point. You know, 37.5% done after today. So anything you've thought of since we last watched episode 1?
I'm doubling down on Bartosz is the guy that Noah murdered.
Young Noah murdered.
With the pickaxe.
Okay.
I got nothing on Adam. I've been thinking about him.
Okay.
I've got nothing yet. It's still too new in the game.
Right, yeah. Because, like, when you first met Noah, you're like, who the fuck is Noah? And,
yeah. Yeah, I guess Bartosz's whole purpose in this is remained to be revealed, but I'm thinking maybe Bartosz is going to play a part in causing the apocalypse.
Okay.
Because his dad runs the plant, and the plant is going to be the epicenter from it. Because, I mean, they've already made so many references to Chernobyl.
Right.
That it feels like it's going to be some type of nuclear fallout. And perhaps that's why Bartosz is being recruited, because he's very well placed to be able to access the plant. So that's my guess as to why Bartosz, who is an idiot.
One thing that I'm pretty sure we didn't discuss after episode 1 was the new cop that they brought in to take over the investigation.
That's true. He seems sharp.
Yeah.
He's very paranoid, so he's going to figure things out. Paranoid people.
He's asking the right questions.
He is.
And, like, even other cops that are supposed to be helping him out are kind of being like...
I think he very much... I won't say suspicious isn't the right word of Charlotte, but I think he knows she is hiding something.
Okay.
But I don't think he's ready to assume what and what larger role it plays. But I feel like this guy is going to catch on to a lot of things very quickly.
Cool. Yeah, that was the main one. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, we introduced a new character that we didn't even talk about. Because, like, we talked about Adam.
But I guess
it was
because he didn't really do anything yet.
Right.
Other than, kind of have a suspicious conversation with Charlotte.
It's just basically showing that, he's a good freaking mind.
Yeah, he's a good cop.
Cool. That about covers it. So let's get into episode 2. Los Gates.
Los Gates.
There we go.
Oh shit. It's so tight looking. Adam is sitting in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Dein erster Gedanke ist, dass ich mich prostituiere.
Ja, was denn sonst?
Ich verkaufe nicht meine Titten oder meinen Arsch. Ich verkaufe Rezepte für eine scheiß Hormontherapie, du Idiot. Mein Vater hat die früher als Bezahlung für seine Besuche benutzt. Jetzt geht er nicht mehr hin und ich bin die neue Bezugsquelle.
Wieso machst du das?
Ich helfe ihr, sie hilft mir. So einfach ist das. Weißt du, das Problem sind nicht die Geheimnisse, das Problem ist der Scheiß, den jeder in jeden hineinprojiziert. Ich hab dir gesagt, es geht dich einen Scheißdreck an und es geht dich auch einen Scheißdreck an. Ich kann nicht glauben, dass du mir hinterher spioniert hast. Was für ein Freak bist du denn?
Ich habe versucht, ein Geheimnis zu bewahren. Aber in Wahrheit ist es genau das, was uns kaputt macht. Die Geheimnisse. Mama, ich weiß, das klingt bescheuert. Deswegen will ich, dass du es selber siehst. Mit eigenen Augen.
Was meinst du?
Papas Geheimnis.
Das ist wegen dem Hund. Sie sagt, er gehört ihr. Wir haben das Tierheim angerufen, aber niemand hat sie vermisst. Und sie sieht aus wie der Hund, den ich hatte, als ich ein Kind war. Gretchen. Woher wissen Sie das? Weil es mein Hund ist. Genauso wie es Dana ist.
Oh mein Gott.
She just comes right out and says it. Stranger Jonas, like, put him through the ringer for a while.
2 Leute sitzen an ihren Tischen, Hermann und Kowalczyk. Gleich wird unsere Sekretärin zum rechten Tisch gehen. Auf dem Weg wird sie sich Luft zuwedeln. Achte auf Kowalczyk. Gleich lässt er seinen Stift fallen. Wie haben Sie das gemacht? Ich habe alles erlebt. Alles, was du erlebt hast, alles, was du erleben wirst. Ich bin du.
So that explains how the dog actually went in the door. Just because some people are just like, how did the dog open the door?
I think Claudia might have did. Mikael too. Still in gap.
He stuck the dipstick in the generator, or like where there was a thing and there was no fuel in the generator, which is why it only lasted for like half a second.
Letztes Jahr kam ein Fremder ins Hotel. Das sind seine Sachen. Als er gegangen ist, wollte er, dass ich ein Paket für ihn aufgebe.
An wen?
Jonas kam bald. Ich muss gehen. Elisabeth hat Schwimmunterricht, das habe ich jetzt vergessen.
Subtle.
She is the worst liar of all time. In the middle of a very interesting discovery that nobody's known before in this investigation, all of a sudden, oh,
I gotta go.
my daughter has to go swimming.
Well, I mean, you knew what it was.
Yeah, that was cool looking.
Da würde ich aber gar nicht rein. Das ist wie ein anderer Grund. Sonst haben wir sie nicht mehr ausgekommen.
Er hat gesagt, er kann alles ändern. Er kann die Vergangenheit ändern und die Zukunft.
Wer hat es gesagt?
Der Mann mit dem Stein.
Aber das ist 30 Jahre her. Was hat das mit Mats zu tun?
Aber niemand kann das ändern. Niemand. Nicht einmal der weiße Teufel.
Der weiße Teufel. Das hast du schon mal gesagt. Damals, als Kind.
Und du hier stehen wirst, wo ich gerade stehe. Und deine Rolle akzeptierst in diesem endlosen Tanz. Und jedes Opfer, das es benötigt. In 5 Tagen beginnt alles neu. Du musst Adam stoppen. Du hast nicht mehr viel Zeit mit Regina. Aber wenn alles gelingt, dann wird sie leben.
Warum hatte er dieses Foto? Warum hat er mir nie gesagt, wer meine Eltern wirklich sind?
Alle werden sterben!
In 5 Tagen, in meiner Zeit. Ich muss das stoppen. Es gilt keine Prophezeiung. Die Passage wird sich niemals öffnen. Euer Paradies, das gibt es nicht. Aber hinter der Mauer...
Ja. Okay, genau der Fall. Was ist immer noch hier?
Holy shit.
Wo?
Oh my god. Oh, oh my god, dude. Ulrich's in a mental institution in 1986, dude. He's gotta be batshit crazy right now.
Ja.
My only aim is to take many lives. The more, the better I feel.
Ich kenne das. Das haben Sie schon mal gesagt. Was hat das zu bedeuten?
Das bedeutet, dass du Trottel immer noch nichts verstanden hast. Aber jetzt musst du dich beeilen. Du hast nicht mehr viel Zeit. Ich weiß, wann du stirbst. Stand in der Seite.
This whole show is really about Egon.
Ich verstehe.
Egon and Ulrich.
Natürlich tust du das nicht. Aber vielleicht ist es auch dein Schicksal. Ahnungslos zu sterben, so wie du geboren wurdest. Jedem das, was er verdient.
Stranger Jonas did say he'd go through a lot before he became the person that.
Starting to get an idea of what a lot means.
Ja.
Warum hat sie dich nicht getötet? Wer bist du wirklich? Wer bist du? Ich will, dass du es mir zeigst. Was wirklich in der Todeszone ist.
Okay.
Okay, lots to digest.
Few things. So, one of your biggest reactions was finding out that Ulrich was in jail the entire time.
But I thought he might be.
Yeah.
I thought he might have gotten stuck there.
Yeah.
Just because he never reappeared. So
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Yep.
The never-ending war between Ulrich
Never-ending war. Arguably.
Egon Tiedemann.
No, see, on the surface, you think Egon Tiedemann won.
There's no
Because-
L, just Tiedemann.
Oh, Tiedemann. You think Egon won. But after that last laugh that Ulrich just got, where
he's like, you're gonna die clueless, just the way you're born.
He's like, you ain't got much time left, dude. I know when you go. Like, it's coming pretty soon.
I read
dude.
it in the papers. It's like, I don't know what you mean. It's like, of course you don't, because you're still an idiot.
Still an idiot. Anything all this time, you're still an idiot. I almost feel like he was happy to see him. He was like, how about that?
Ulrich was?
Yeah. Let's get one last dig at you before you die, because I knew it was coming soon. So Charlotte is on my mind right now.
What about Charlotte?
Dude, I feel like, I don't know, like, she mentioned, like, why didn't HG tell her who her parents was?
Who her real parents were.
Yeah, so I'm starting to think perhaps it's like Jonas.
Okay.
Because we don't know where Jonas is going right now.
Okay.
In that wormhole he just stepped into. And perhaps Jonas and that girl will follow. And maybe they're Charlotte's parents, I don't know. But possible. Because obviously there's something to that. Because I've been wondering just exactly who Charlotte's parents were anyways.
Right.
Because especially once they confirmed that H.G. Townhouse was her grandfather.
Right.
So I was always curious about her family anyways.
Now it seems like adoptive grandfather because she's saying who her real parents are.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, like you said, she just has no subtlety whatsoever. Just be like, oh, I gotta go drive my daughter to swim.
Just they're like, oh, big revelation. Oh, my kid has soccer practice.
This is a lot of information that could have been useful for the case back when it was open and it was just the Winden police, and now this like random new guy shows up and he's like cracked open like way more of the case than any of them ever did in months.
And I mean, you got to go back to even to Egon.
Yeah.
So from 1953 to 2019. This dude in 3 days has done more than all the police in that time period combined.
Right?
In 3 days.
Yeah. So he's a pretty smart cookie.
Yeah. I mean, small town police are usually idiots because they don't deal with anything like this.
Sorry to all the small town police watching.
Convince me I'm wrong.
Hey, even big town police. You read Helter Skelter.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the reason why. Because he's asking all the right questions. He's like, it doesn't seem odd to you that Alexander just appeared out of nowhere.
In 1986 when people started disappearing.
Like, no one thinks that's weird. No one thinks. I mean, they run this plant.
Why did
it seems to be the epicenter of all this stuff. He shows up. He takes her last name. No one even knows that exactly who he even is. He's like, no one thought to ask that question. Like,
right.
Paranoid people. They're the ones.
And then older Claudia meeting up with middle-aged Claudia.
Yeah. So it seems like much like Stranger and Jonas, she has set herself on a righteous path that turns her into this version of herself.
Right.
Because she gave her the time machine. So
now middle-aged Claudia has a time machine. Currently, Jonas and Hannah are in 1986.
Yes.
Or 87.
Well, older Jonas.
Yeah, older Jonas are in 1987. Looking at Mikkel, and he's like, hey, I feel like getting all the secrets out in the open is the only way to make this town better, so I gotta show you Dad's secret. And so he... Now, you notice that he said that it's safer to time travel in the caves, which would make sense, because, like... You don't know where people are going to be 33 years from now. You don't know if someone is in the room that you're using.
And especially because in the time periods he knows, we know the cave is always there.
Right. The cave is always there.
Because you have no idea where you're going to land if you...
Yeah, there's very rarely ever anyone in the cave, so it's more likely that you won't just randomly appear in front of someone. So we confirmed that Claudia pulled her dog in, like old Claudia pulled the dog in and put the dog through the portal so that she would come out in 1986.
I think she might have done it to Mikkel too.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I was going to, because I remember you said that in the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
So you think that older Claudia is the one that abducted Mikkel because of the whole, it's got to be the same as it's always been.
Yeah, I thought it might have been like either Noah or her, but it seems like Noah knows that they're. It seems like a good amount of the early chess moves, because we're still early in the game. It feels like are the same for both sides.
We're almost at the halfway mark.
It feels like it's the same for both sides in the early game.
We're at 12 out of 18 current episodes, but next season could be like
Noah and Claudia both needed Jonas, clearly.
Right.
So it seems like Noah, because that's the reason why Noah talked to Mikkel, and he, kind of manipulated him into not going into the cave to leave.
Right.
Because he needs him to stay there.
And Claudia, it was telling her middle-aged self, you've got to stop Adam.
Yes. So Adam is her end game.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still not convinced Noah is entirely on board with everything Adam is doing.
Okay.
I think he might be trying to snake him in some facet.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
And then just random scene of Magnus confronting Francesca, being like, "I think you're blowing people for money," and she's like, "No, I've got hormone therapy." And
yeah, I've always felt like that storyline was another like Eric's dad type storyline,
right,
where isn't necessarily irrelevant, but I thought it was meant to make you think there's more there than actually is.
Okay. So what is the most important storyline? Who are the most important players?
Both sets of Jonas's.
Okay.
Both sets of Claudia's.
Okay.
Noah, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Adam.
Who we didn't even see this episode, except in the picture, but you did notice that he was in the picture.
Yes. He's sitting in the front and center, in fact.
Yeah.
Everybody's around him. I'd say those are like the main players.
Okay.
Because everyone else, it's confirmed Ulrich is kind of, and unless Ulrich busts out of there, seems like Ulrich has pretty much been removed from the game, and his purpose has been fulfilled.
And Egon Tiedemann might be dying soon.
But he might discover something before he dies.
Right.
So I guess it remains to be seen what Egon Tiedemann is going to do in his last, X amount of time.
Right.
Of life. Yeah, I'd say those are the main players in the game.
Okay.
And then the second tier of players would be like Charlotte, and that's when Ulrich would come into play, and Bartosz.
Alexander Tiedemann?
Alexander, I would put him in the second tier.
So you don't even put Hannah anywhere in the top tiers, and you say she's the entire antagonist of the entire...
Oh, she will. We know who's number one.
She is number one.
We all know who number one is.
She is.
Hannah is a psychopath.
The worst.
Hannah's the worst.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Any predictions? Any like big questions that you currently have right now?
My big prediction, I guess, is
prediction and questions.
My big prediction was Charlotte's parentage, and maybe Jonah and that girl from the future.
From the future. Okay.
What was your other question?
What your questions are? Like any big questions that you currently have, like the parentage or
Adam is a good question.
Like what people's main goals are.
I definitely, obviously, Charlotte's parentage is now on the top of my mind.
So that's your number one question.
Because I had been thinking that anyways. I thought it was odd that she's like one person whose parents we didn't know anything about, and then once it was revealed that H.G. Townhouse was her grandfather, then I was really like, okay, so there's definitely something there, because it's all been about families and secrets and stuff like that. So, that was the first time we found out about her family, because everything else was her husband's family.
Right, the Dopplers. Yeah, because the show still does say it's like the four main families, the Dopplers, the Tiedemans, the Nielsen's, and the Conrads.
The only kink in my theory about Jonas perhaps being her parent is she is present in 1986.
Yes.
And that version of H.G. Townhouse didn't know about time travel yet.
The 86 version is the older version of him. The 53 version is the
but the older version, remember the stranger went to him and he talked to the older version, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he told him to leave, like, get out. Like, he was trying to work on it, but it seemed like that version of him hadn't confirmed that this shit actually works.
Okay.
So, that's kind of one kink in the Jonas might be Charlotte's dad theory, which would be another fucking another level of just fuckery.
So then the family tree would be, then that would mean that Mikkel is her grandfather and Ulrich is her great-grandfather.
Dude, it's like she's blonde too. Like it's like really possible.
So, all right, I like where your head's at. You're having some fun with it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions, or shall we end it there?
There's
for
a
now?
billion questions.
Yeah. All right, I think that's a good place to kind of sign off then. So until next time.
Auf Wiedersehen.